Hello, it's Ant here, and this short video is going to be taking you around the main features of the Cubase arrangement window. We won't actually be doing any real or sort of audio work in here. This video is just designed to take you through all these kind of functions and buttons and make you aware of exactly what each thing does. There are some things which are kind of surplus to requirements, but we'll try and sort of deal with everything that's on the screen. But there are some things that we don't actually need to know at this stage, and we'll come on to those in due course. Okay, so the first thing that I want to show you is the transport bar, and that's this sort of thing that I'm putting around the screen there. And the first thing you can notice is that there's quite a few different functions. There's other sort of information, and that's designed to tell you quite a number of things about the actual project that you're dealing with. The controls that we've got down here that kind of look like the same controls of any sort of CD player or MP3 player or the like. I would say tape player, but you know, not everybody's got a tape player these days, me included. And they are, as you'd expect, we've got sort of stop, we've got play, which sort of plays the project back. You can see this song position counter sort of moving there now, and things start to flicker and move and change. We'll be dealing with that in due course. So we just press stop. We've got record if we want to record any audio or any MIDI information. We can sort of press record there. There are other options that we can choose pre-counts and punch-ins and punch-outs and things. We've got this thing which is already highlighted. This is the cycle mode, which means that in between this blue sort of shaded area at the top here, which is your sort of cycle area, that means that Cubase will cycle within that area. It starts off at the left locator here, we'll move to the right locator, and when it reaches that locator, it will automatically cycle back. You can't hear anything at the moment because we haven't got anything sort of playing at the moment. We've got fast forward and rewind, and these two functions can take us back to the beginning of the project with the line sort of down here now and towards the end of the project. Immediately above those transport controls, we've got this information here, which is directly related to the time information across the top here. These numbers indicate numbers of bars. So as we sort of move up the project, we start off at bar 1 and we sort of move through. And as you can see, there are only sort of bars displayed in sort of even numbers at the moment. But if we go down to the bottom right hand corner here, we've got the sort of zoom in and zoom out tab, and you can then see that once you zoom in, you can see those the even numbered bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can see that we're cycling between bars 5 and 7 there. So we've got a 2-bar loop there. Just press stop. This number over here is an indication of the whereabouts you are with bars and beats. So at the moment, if I press stop, let's just bring the song position to the first left-hand counter, you can see that we're at bar 5, at beat 1, and sort of 16th one. Beat 1. And this is another sort of division of time in MIDI clocks. But the important thing to know is sort of bar 5, beat 1, and these are sort of, I think that we're set at 16th at the moment on here. Okay, so that's sort of song position with bars and beats. Here we've got song position as related to time and sort of minutes and seconds. So you can see that we're cycling up to around about 11 and then we go back to 8. Quite handy if you're dealing with projects which aren't governed by bars and beats, as some audio projects are not. Okay, this section of the transport bar is quite important. We've got the click track. The click track is off at the moment, but if we switch it on, all right, you'll immediately be able to hear it. All right, and that's kind of like a digital conductor. It's given us an indication of how fast the tempo is running. All right, and how fast the tempo is running is dictated by this number here, which is the beats per minute. And that is currently set at 120 beats per minute. But we can change that. If we just flick that over, if we just click the tempo and click it to fixed, we can sort of double click on the 120 and say we wanted to take it to 145 beats per minute. We've got that there now. If we play it back, all right, we can hear that that's definitely faster than 120 beats per minute. That can be changed within the sort of project as well. More on that in a little while. We've got markers here as well, which we won't really sort of be using. That's to give us sort of a marker track at the top if we want to sort of indicate where a verse starts or where a chorus starts or an outro or a middle eight or whatever. We can use these markers over here in order to do that. This sort of area over here is giving us an indication of where the left and right locator markers are. You can change the information here as well by typing it in, but I always just find it easier just by grabbing the tabs and sort of move them to wherever I want. Okay, there are other things on the transport bar which we'll come back to. Across the top now you can see we've got the transport controls duplicated. That's just if the transport bar isn't displayed for whatever reason, if you want to see your main project without the sort of transport bar getting in the way, you can sort of get rid of that, but the main transport controls are still up here. We've got toolbox at the top, which is tremendously important. We've got tools here for selecting audio, cutting it up, gluing it together, rubbing it out, magnifying, muting. We've got time warp mode, we've got draw mode, we've got sort of tools for drawing in lines and automation. We can scrub, we can colour in different parts. As I say, more on that as we come to use each part or each tool. We'll sort of come on to what these are. Here it is where we can colour code each sort of different part. An important feature is the snap feature, which is here. This sort of blue arrow looks like a face sort of scrunching up in a way. And the snap value is it's kind of like a digital grid, which if I've got let me just sort of make a MIDI track here just for a minute, we'll come back to that. If I've got some sort of MIDI part here that I want to sort of manipulate or move, that's going to move and snap to this digital grid. All right, and at the moment the digital grid is dictated by this sort of setting here. At the moment it's only going to snap. The grid is sort of set as a resolution of every bar. All right, so you can see that I can't move the beginning of that part anywhere in between bars 5 and 6. All right, it's just going to be at the beginning of bar 5, at the beginning of bar 6, and so on. As I sort of change this, there are other options for bars, and I can change it to every beat. So I'll be sort of moving it to every beat there, and then I'll be moving it to a use quantize. We'll talk more about quantizing in another video. And this is now using this number here, all right, which is set to 16th, which means 16ths of a bar. All right, so if I just move my left and right locator markers and I just scrunch this up just to make it more clear. So I've now got one bar of information, and I'm going to sort of just move this, and as you can see the graduations move every sort of 16th of a bar. Okay, that concludes the first video. The next video will all be about recording MIDI. Whoa.